Straight ahead on 12 News, a celebration in Brooklyn Park for a project that's been years in the making. Plus, a Providence Academy student's perfect accomplishment, how she pulled off an incredibly difficult feat. But first, good news for teenagers trying to land that summer job. 12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Johnson.
And I'm Alexandra Renslow. State employment officials say the job prospects for teens have improved considerably since the recession.
So where should teens look for summer jobs? Delane Cleveland has some answers.
The lunch hour rush brings one person after another into the Maple Grove Chipotles. But on this day, they expect another wave of people to come in for reasons other than eating.
We're hosting an open interview day for every one of the Chipotles in Minnesota. It starts at 2 o'clock and goes till 5:30. Pretty much anyone can walk in and sit down and have an interview.
It's Chipotle's official kickoff to the summer job season.
We don't hire cashiers or busboys, we hire crew members. And so you're really going to get a chance to do everything at Chipotle.
The opportunity for teens to work at Chipotle is a relatively new concept.
We made the switch a little over a year ago to start hiring at 16. And that was a really big switch for us. And we've been really excited as far as how many folks that we have coming in that are high schoolers in that age.
According to state employment officials, companies in the food services industry and retail are all seeing employment growth.
There's help wanted signs all over the place. Our job vacancy survey showed very high levels of hiring in these industries.
Officials from Deeds say that teen jobless rates were about 22% during the recession. Today is about 10%.
For the recession, we were closer to 7.5%, so we still have a way to go, but we think we're maybe going to make up some of that ground this year.
Huh? Would you like any sour cream or cheese?
Chipotle is certainly doing its part to give teens a chance to get some work experience, and the job has its perks.
You know, one of the benefits for teenagers and for everyone is you get a free meal every time you work at Chipotle and paid breaks. So we pay you to eat free Chipotle, which is kind of a cool thing.
In Maple Grove, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
And as an added bonus, some teens hired this summer will get a slight raise on August 1st when the state's minimum wage increases.
Minnesota is 2 months away from distributing medical marijuana. Today we learned a site in Maple Grove will be responsible for testing the drug. Aspen Research of Maple Grove will be one of 2 laboratories to monitor the quality and purity of the state's supply of medical cannabis. The drug will only be available in pill or liquid form. Maple Grove is also one of 8 cities chosen to be a distribution site.
A zoning change in Brooklyn Park gets early approval. It would eventually allow Hy-Vee to build a grocery store and restaurant in the city. Hy-Vee wants to build a 90,000 square foot store at the southwest corner of Highway 610 and Zane Avenue. It would be part of a business park development at that site. Councilmember Rich Gates voted against the zoning change. He says there's enough grocery stores already.
The Twin Cities market is the most saturated grocery market in the country. I think it was evident when Rainbow left our market that it showed we can't support more grocery in this community.
It was, in my opinion, Roundy's lousy management that caused them to be less competitive, and eventually their stores closed because of that, not because Brooklyn Park had too many grocery stores.
Councilmember John Jordan says Hy-Vee would bring about 400 new jobs to the city. Meantime, a controversial nightclub proposal in Brooklyn Park has been rejected. It would have been located next to a daycare at the Creekside Plaza Strip Mall. Neighbors lined up against the proposal, and the city council unanimously voted it down.
Nearly 10 years in the making, the ground is now officially broken on a new Brooklyn Park library. When the $23 million project is finished along West Broadway and 85th Avenue, it will represent the new face of the Brooklyn Park community.
Hey!
It says something that after this photo op, there were more rounds of photos with dozens of other people holding shovels. A library construction project 10 years in the making, this effort represents a community design project with multiple players.
It takes some time to get things right, but we'd rather get it right than rush out and put a building up that means nothing to people.
All the way along, we've worked in partnership like we do with so many projects, and this wouldn't happen It's a lot more complicated than it looks with this flat land and piles of sand, I can tell you that.
The result will be a 39,000 square foot library that reflects the future of this community.
I heard about it like when I was on the library website, and I was like, there's gonna be a new library right where we live. I'm so excited.
17-year-old Tamira Amin works part-time at the current Brooklyn Park Library, which was built back in 1976 and is less than half the size of the new one.
People bring lots of diverse backgrounds into the door every day, and so we want that to be reflected in the building.
World culture and geography are themes of the new library. So too is a focus on STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math for tomorrow's workforce.
We want this library to be a place that pushes and excites and inspires kids to experiment, to problem solve, to create, to collaborate with others.
The new library will open next year.
Plymouth is going ahead with a plan to ease the parking crunch outside the Plymouth Ice Center and Lifetime Fitness. The city is going out for bid to build about 100 new parking spaces there. Officials expect the cost to be about $900,000 split between the city and Lifetime. The approval came after the Planning Commission turned down 2 options for increasing the parking lot because of the loss of trees and green space.
There is another road construction update. This one affects Vicksburg Lane in Plymouth. Crews began work today on a portion of Vicksburg between Old Rockford Road and Schmidt Lake Road. That section will be closed to through traffic for the rest of the summer. Vicksburg is being turned into a 4-lane road with trails or sidewalks built on both sides of the street.
50 years ago, the United States was at the height of its involvement in the Vietnam War. It was a time of conflict that today's students have only read about. At the Breck School, students heard firsthand accounts from veterans and even a former protester who spent time in prison for breaking into draft board offices. One Vietnam veteran says lessons from Vietnam should not be forgotten, like when to commit U.S. troops.
It seems to me that if we don't learn from past experience, that we're destined to repeat it. And the way I feel about Iraq and Afghanistan is we didn't necessarily learn the mistakes from Vietnam.
The forum is part of a series organized by the Quad Cities chapter of Beyond the Yellow Ribbon. Coming up, reaching your earnings potential, what a new study says about local colleges.
And then later in sports, rivals Maple Grove and Osseo meet up in boys tennis. We'll have the highlights.
But first, more weather bliss. Thursday near 70 and sunny.
A new report out today ranks 2- and 4-year colleges on the value of their education.
It takes into account which college graduates pay off student loans and how much earning potential they have. Both schools in our area, Hennepin Tech and North Hennepin Community College, fared well. At North Hennepin, 90% of graduates reach their earnings potential by mid-career, and at Hennepin Tech, that number is up to 96%. But no matter where you're going to college, you have to pay for it. 12 News reporter Shannon Slatton talks about a few ways to save in today's Money Savers.
We're here with Robert Stern with the Minnesota College Savings Plan. And Robert, you say it is never too early or too late to start saving for college.
Yeah, right, Shannon, that's absolutely true. In the past, this is what people did to save for college. Nowadays, with the rising costs of college, this won't get you too far. No, but we have a really great option in the form of the Minnesota College Savings Plan. Rather than thinking, oh, I got to save all this money and I'll never get there and I'm not going to do it, better to just get started at whatever age and put in as much as you can, or whatever works. It's still really very viable. I mean, you'd be amazed if you put your mind to it, what you can actually save in 2, 3, 4 years. It's all part of a puzzle. When your child goes off to school, there are going to be lots of factors. So there's the parent contribution, which of course is the thing that parents fixate on. But there's work study, there are merit-based scholarships, there's other sources of income that could come into play. Lots of private schools have tremendous endowments to work with. There's financial aid. So really, saving for college is just part of the puzzle, but it's an really important piece.
Nicole Middendorf with Prosper Well Financial.
Biggest thing is just start saving early and save as much as you can.
Says think about another puzzle piece too.
The best way I tell people is first start with the education IRA. Works kind of like the Roth IRA. You're able to put up to $2,000 per year per child until they're 18. Caveat is though, is the money has to be out of that account by the time they're 30, and it has to be used for higher education.
And finally, remember you don't have to save alone.
If you've got kids and you're dealing with grandkids, rather than giving someone a gift of another toy or another thing that they don't necessarily need, give them the gift of money and put it into that education IRA or the 529 plan.
For Money Savers, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
All right, thank you, Shannon. Coming up, a Providence Academy student's rare achievement.
But first, the Osseo softball team in action. John Jacobson has highlights from their game up next in sports.
Osseo Orioles softball seems to be on a roll. It must be fun.
Slow start, but yeah, playing very well right now. Picked up another win Tuesday night. The Osseo softball team had a good weekend, winning the Shakopee tournament. And after edging Blaine Monday, the Orioles hope to continue their winning ways as they hosted Armstrong. A beautiful night to take in a game at Osseo. Bottom of the second inning, Osseo's Aaron Dilby dropping in a bloop hit to short center field. That scores a run to give the Orioles a 2-1 lead. Armstrong avoids further damage on a great double play. Shelby Nyberg grabbing that line drive, doubling off the runner at second, and that ends the inning. Bottom of the fifth inning, Courtney Auer leading off with a solo home run over the left field fence, and it's 5-1 Orioles. Same inning, Caroline Myers rips a shot down the line to score another run, and it's 6-1 Osseo. The Orioles go on to win at 8-1. They host Coon Rapids Thursday night. Maple Grove has a top 10 ranked boys tennis team this spring. The Crimson lost just once in conference play, and they were at home to take on Osseo in another Northwest Suburban Conference match. Number one doubles, Rory Calabria with a big serve, putting it to work there for an ace on match point. Calabria and Ian Altenberg win in straight sets. Number one singles, good rally between Osseo's Pete Burno and Maple Grove's Charlie Atkins. Atkins wins the point. Burno will come to the net here, but Atkins with a nice passing shot down the line, and he wins the match 6-0, 6-2. Number two singles, Sam Hochberger gets the volley winner for the Crimson. And then later, Hochberger's serve will set up a smash winner, and he wins his match 6-0, 6-0. Three singles, Ben Gilbertson serves for Osseo. Johnny Nudler strokes the return winner for the Crimson on his way to a 6-1, 6-2 victory. Maple Grove wins the match 7-0. It's the first year of play in the new Metro West Conference. The Benilde-St. Margaret's boys lacrosse team got their first look at a new conference opponent in Bloomington Kennedy. First quarter, the Eagles will turn it over in their own end. Griffin Allen steals the pass for Benilde, sets up Thomas Ludke for the shot and goal. That ties the game at 1. Allen gets a goal of his own later in the first, deking the defender left and back to his right to free himself. Great play there. Allen's goal puts Benilde ahead 3-2. Second quarter, and Kennedy's Grant Skophammer on the run. He'll get a pass away as he's knocked to the ground, and Sean Van Sloan scores off the pass from Adam Vodanek. And the Eagles take a 5-4 lead. That's the score at halftime. Third quarter, Travis Sjogren passing to Derek Mendel in front of the Knights net for another Kennedy goal. I mean, it's 7-5 Eagles. Benilde pulled to within a goal twice, but they fall one short against Kennedy. 8-7 is the final. Hawks versus Hawks in girls lacrosse as Cooper hosted Chaska. Chaska doesn't waste any time. Miley Ernst scoring just 11 seconds into the game. Later in the first minute, Lyda Ernst sets up Olivia Swenson for the point-blank goal, and it's 2-0. A turnover leads to a Cooper goal as Mayola Shamluzek buries it to get Cooper on the board. But Chaska dominates play. Siri Olsen scooping the ground ball, delivers a pass to Miley Ernst for another Chaska goal. Olsen nets one of her 3 goals as Chaska builds a 9-1 halftime lead on the way to a 17-1 win. One of the best high school tennis players in the state, maybe the best, is only a junior, and he goes to Whiteside High School. Jason Millo profiles Nick Beaty for this week's Sports Jam show here on Channel 12. Here's a clip from that story.
Beaty plays tennis year-round, traveling to elite tournaments all over the United States. Those tournaments are a kind of necessary evil, according to Beaty, but he more than holds his own. In fact, some tennis recruiting websites rank Beaty as the best high school junior in the Midwest.
You have to play a wide variety of people, and I still lose around here to people, but you play everybody. If you play locally, you end up playing the same people every week, and you get bored of it a little bit, and you need to go and play nationals, and it's good for it's good for a variety of reasons too, and you can play the best kids in the country, and it's crazy.
Catch the rest of the Nick Beaty story and more this week on Sports Jam. It's on through Wednesday at 3:30, 6:30, 9:30 p.m. on Channel 12. Also Thursday morning at 9:30 or on the web anytime through our website at 12.tv. And that's a look at sports for today.
All right, thanks, John. Still ahead, a Providence Academy student does something only about 1,000 students accomplish nationwide.
We'll be right back. A Providence Academy student has accomplished an incredibly rare feat.
That's right. Junior Sarah White has done something few students will ever do. Sonia Goins explains.
I like to learn. I also really like to be challenged.
Sarah White is certainly up for the challenge.
So find the area of each triangle and then integrate all the triangles.
She gets good grades and is taking honor courses.
I'm really interested in science and math, so especially engineering and biology. Here we have the volumes for if you're rotating.
Sarah is also making history. She recently received a perfect ACT score.
Can't really do cartwheels in a skirt, but I was jumping when I found out.
It's rare to get a top score. Less than 1/10 of 1% of students who take the ACT earn the top mark.
People were finding their scores online, and I checked mine, and I was really surprised but really excited.
Sarah took several practice tests and scored high on those as well. She says timing was key to getting the top score.
It was harder to get the science portion because there's a lot of stuff that you have to read and process all the information, and you have to figure out what not to process also.
Besides hitting the books, Sarah is also on the track team.
I run the distance events like 800 mile, 2 mile, and I also run hurdles.
She's also into music. She's in the choir and plays strings. Sarah says balancing everything is not easy, especially when it comes to homework.
There's usually not a whole lot of time to fit it in, so you really have to be efficient with the time you do have, obviously.
Her quest to do well started at a young age.
When I was little, my mom told me Sarah can do hard things, and I don't know, it's like a motto.
In Plymouth, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
3 Wayzata High School students also earned top scores on the February ACT exam. So the takeaway, we got some pretty bright kids around here.
Wow, yeah.
Do the cartwheel, Sarah, do the cartwheel. That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Community Corner is coming up next. We'll see you back here tomorrow again, beginning at 4.